today I remembered something from my childhood, and I want to share it with all of you. When I was around 10 or so, I watched a show called Mr. Whispers. Apparently, I was a huge fan of it too, as my mom and dad told me that I wouldn't stop talking about him or the show. They weren't ever awake when it was on. It aired only on Saturday and around 11. But my mom said young me made sure to tell her and my dad about its existence, whether they liked it or not. From my mom's recollection, I would beg to stay up on Saturday just to watch the show, and would even throw a tantrum if I was told I couldn't. Looking back, I don't know why young me even wanted to watch the show. See, Mr. Whispers was a show about the titular character, Mr. Whispers, sitting around a campfire in the woods, roasting marshmallows. He would always tell stories while doing so, with the stories usually ending with a moral like other educational kids shows. Hearing it now, it does sound like a perfect show for kids, and to a degree it was, at least for a 10-year-old me. Mr. Whispers was a tall, bulky man in a stereotypical detective outfit, with a long-brimmed hat and an oversized trench coat. He would always be sitting on a log next to a campfire, with a tent in the background, which he could go into when the show was ending. He would always talk in sort of a hushed whisper, like how you would speak when you're telling a bedtime story. I guess, hence the name, though you'd never see his face. You see, it was a running gag that with each episode, Mr. Whispers would wear a different mask, whether it be a hockey mask or a mask that just covered his entire head. He would always wear one, right? The most common one he'd wear, however, was just a plain white mask that covered his face. It had 2 large holes where the eyes should be and a small mouth. But let's just talk about the episodes. As mentioned before, the show was about Mr. Whispers telling stories around a campfire with paper cutouts on sticks or poorly made puppets going along with the stories. And whether it would be a story about a depressed prince finding his true love or a story about 3 young friends going on an adventure, they would always be pure and lighthearted. At first. After the story would end, Mr. Whispers would say, "But then," and the story would go horribly wrong. For example, one story was about a man that lost his pet dog, which he would find later in the woods. But then, the dog would be violently mauled by a wolf in front of the man. Now, Mr. Whispers would be seemingly pleased and would tell a moral based on the story. The thing was, most of the morals, didn't make sense. They were usually morals that were pretty much commonly low. Like, treat others how you wish to be treated, and always tell the truth. But sometimes they would seem like they just put a bunch of words together that sounded like a moral. And, why did I remember this show just now? Well, nostalgia kicked in while I was lying on the couch, and I decided to search it up. Nothing. Of course. I tried searching it up on different browsers, I tried asking some of my friends, I asked a group chat I was a part of, but I was never able to find something or someone that knew Mr. Whispers. It was odd. I remembered the show, crystal clear as day, but it didn't seem to exist anywhere. I asked my parents about it, and they just gave me the same answer, that it was a show I used to watch as a kid. I asked if they ever recorded it. They said no. I asked if there were DVDs, merchandise, hell, even if they saw it themselves. They said no. I keep searching, using more vague terms this time, not referencing the show at all. And I actually found something. It was a news article about multiple broadcast interruptions happening during the times that Mr. Whispers aired. And after a few months, the police tracked down where the signal was coming from and immediately drove over there. reports say that they couldn't find anything other than a burnt-out fire, a worn-down tent, and an old drawing of an unrecognizable figure fused to a splintered popsicle stick.